welcome to this restorative series here. In 2015, I had quite a few things happen to me. Let's see, I had three major losses, and also took two family members through some tragedies, and 5 medical surprise procedures. And so that was a lot in 1 year. Plus in that year, I started grad school. So it was really a lot for me to handle. My body was quite heavy. I was at the bottom of that ladder. And if you're not familiar with the autonomic nervous system hierarchy, please watch that video here on the channel to give you a little bit more. I tell you this because, sometimes life just gives us too much. And it's very difficult to get into our practice. Yes, when I'm at the bottom of the ladder, I need more standing poses, but I tend to go towards Rajasic depression, which would be the middle of the ladder. My go-to is to overschedule myself so much that I don't have to stop and feel the sadness or the heartbreak. And in that moment, a restorative practice is exactly what I need to bring that down, to help me be in stillness so that my nervous system can have a period of time to step off the gas pedal and to relax a little bit, to slow down. It would be more of the foot brake rather than the emergency brake that would be applied. So lots happening. I'm recording this on a digital device. That device can only go so long before it needs to be recharged. And it takes quite a bit of time to recharge it when the battery's gone to zero, right? And so the same thing happens with your body. You need to recharge. And this is my go-to for recharging. On days when I notice that I'm in that Rajasic kind of middle of the ladder and I don't want to spiral to the bottom of the ladder. This is something that I can go to give myself. It's also great for when I'm traveling and there's some tension going through the airport. Even though I have a love of flying, I've been flying with my grandfather since I was a young child. It's just going through the TSA and the lines and being around that energy in the airport, and then in the airplane with a bunch of people. When I get back to the hotel, there's always blankets laying around that I could use, or pillows that I could use, and it's just nice to make that transition. I notice that I have a more easeful stop once I've made it there. So I'm going to teach you one blanket back bend, chest opener, and then a restorative crocodile position. These are great too to do at the end of the day, just before you go to bed. It helps as well. So, I have the blanket folded fringe to fringe. I fold it again, fringe to fringe, and one more. So now I'm going to place this down for my one blanket back bend. And you want to, I'm smoothing out so there's not wrinkles in it. After you've been there for a while, it'll bother you. I have a short torso, so I chose to have my blanket go this way. If you have a long torso, you might want your blanket to go the opposite. So maybe check in and see what you need. My sacrum is just at the edge. I can feel maybe just a slight tip. My knees will be bent and they'll be teepeed in, which means my feet are wider than my knees. And my knees are angling in towards one another. And my arms can be down at the side. You might even want to bring your arms up. I know if I've been rounded forward, it feels so nice to be there. And then I would normally set a timer, like I'm already just want to settle in and not move on with the video. You'd be surprised how much a one blanket back bend is so relaxing. If you have a hand towel, I would cover the eyes with a hand towel as well. And then you could always cover the body up with another blanket because you do get chilly relaxing here. As your body comes into that rest and digest, it cools down. But if I covered up, you wouldn't be able to see me, right? All right, I suppose I should move on and show you the next one. But you could pause this video, set a timer, stay here for 5 minutes, and then come back. All right, so to come out, you'll just roll to one side, and always just let the head hang as you use your arms to bring you back up. I'll take that same blanket, and I'm going to fold it one more time. And then I'm going to take a second blanket, the same fold. So now I've made a cross or a plus sign on my mat. This is just going to give me a nice chest opener, opening that up again. So I set my bottom right up against the blanket and I roll back. And I can see that I was a little too high there. So my head is supported. If it's difficult to swallow, you may need to add a little extra there. You could put a hand towel there for yourself. And again, my legs are TP'd in. The arms are long down at the side. My jaw's relaxed, my throat's relaxed. So I know that it's not too much for me. And then I start to settle into it, right? I let my body weight kind of drop down into the props. I notice if there's any place that I might be holding tension. I could feel a little bit of tension at the bottom of my ribs and low back, so that just relaxed into the blankets. But I needed to remind myself to do that check-in, because I know that's an area that I like to hold some tension. So by naming it, bringing awareness there, I could feel those muscles release. So again, you could set a timer to be here. When you want to come out, I generally take a hand behind and help lift the head up. And then walk up my legs to an upright position. You could also roll over to the side like we did on the previous pose. I was just trying to show you a couple different variations today. All right, and so my last exercise that I'm going to show you, I leave one of these blankets already folded. And my ankles will rest there. I go back to this folded blanket, and instead of folding it long ways, I'll fold it again short ways. I like the smooth edge to go up towards my rib cage. It feels better. So this blanket, I'll lift up. This blanket starts underneath the rib cage, and so it's supporting the lower belly area. And I stack my fists, my palm over palm, or you could do fists. That supports the head and lets you have a space to breathe. You could also turn your head to one side and then the other and get a passive neck stretch. You just want to make sure that you would spend, maybe 2 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other side, so that both sides of your neck gets a passive stretch. So again, I want to just stay there in restorative crocodile. Restorative crocodile really lets me see the level of anxiety that I have. When I tend to bloat in my belly, when I have a lot of anxiety happening or stress happening, and this pose is quite uncomfortable. So sometimes I think I'm dealing with something, and actually I'm avoiding it. and this pose never lies to me. It lets me know what's going on for me. All right, so those are my 3 go-to restorative poses that I give to myself often throughout the week. I hope that they bring you some peace and some relaxation during this time. Thank you so much. Namaste.